Hello everyone, this is Dr. Sangeeta Chaudhary and I welcome everyone to my lecture class again. In my today's class, I am going to talk about a very important topic, that is the management protocol of COVID-19. The management protocol, it differs from country to country. I am going to discuss about the protocol which we usually follow. So for the management purpose, we need to first categorize the disease. Okay, so COVID-19 can be categorized into mild, moderate and severe disease. Now, who will be considered as having mild disease? Those patients who present with upper respiratory tract infection symptoms like runny nose, sore throat or headache with or without fever, but very importantly without any shortness of breath or hypoxia. Who will be considered as moderate disease? Those who are presenting with respiratory rate of more than 24 per minute along with breathlessness, or else SpO2 or oxygen saturation in between 90 to 93% on room air. And who will be considered as having severe disease? Those who are presenting with respiratory rate of more than 30 per minute along with breathlessness, or else SpO2 of less than 90% on room air. Now the treatment will differ from category to category. Now let's see what will be the treatment for a patient who is having mild COVID-19 disease. Okay, they can be advised for home isolation and they basically require symptomatic and supportive care. Okay, now there are a few drugs which may or may not be used. Why I said may? Because their evidences are not so strong to either support or dispute the use of these following drugs. One of them is tablet ivermectin. It can be used at a dose of 200 microgram per kg once a day for 3 days, or else tablet hydroxychloroquine, okay, at a dose of 400 milligram twice daily for first day, followed by 400 milligram once daily for 4 days can be used, plus inhalational budesonide at a dose of 800 microgram twice daily for 5 days can be used, and it should be started if the symptoms are persistent beyond 5 days. Now what about the moderate disease? Okay, the patient who are having moderate disease, they should be admitted in the ward and they will require oxygen support, because in this group we have already mentioned the SpO2 remains in between 90 to 93%. So they will definitely require oxygen support. Our target SpO2 should be in between 92 to 96%. But in case of COPD patient, the target can be lowered. It can be 88 to 92%. And the preferred device for oxygenation is non-rebreathing face mask. And one more very important thing is they should be encouraged for awake proning or repositioning. Now, what is awake proning? Let's take a look at this image. Awake proning means the patient should change his or her position every 30 minutes to 2 hours. Okay, every 30 minutes to 2 hours. And what are the positions? Okay, first the patient should lie on the belly, that is prone position. Okay, then after 30 minutes to 2 hours, patient can change the position and patient can lie on the right lateral side. Then after 30 minutes to 2 hours, patient can sit up. Okay, and the patient can take rest at around 60 to 90 degree. Okay, and then again after sitting up for 30 minutes to 2 hours, patient can lie on the left lateral side, and then ultimately again the patient can take the prone position. Okay, so this should be encouraged in a patient. Okay, now what about the anti-inflammatory or immunomodulatory therapy for moderate disease category? In the anti-inflammatory group, corticosteroids like methylprednisolone or equivalent dose of dexamethasone can be used for a duration of 5 to 10 days. Okay, in this the dose of methylprednisolone is usually 0.5 milligram per kg body weight, and dexamethasone dose is usually 6 milligram once daily. Okay, Methylprednisolone should be given in 2 divided doses, whereas dexamethasone can be given as once daily dose. Now, patient may be initiated or switched to oral route if the patient is stable and improving. Okay. One more group of drugs should be added for the moderate disease category, that is anticoagulants. For anticoagulants, unfractionated heparin or low molecular weight heparin, weight based, can be used. If we are using enoxaparin, we can give at a dose of 0.5 mg per kg per day subcutaneously, and we can continue it for 5 to 7 days. Okay. Now, what are the things to be monitored in a patient having moderate disease? If we talk about clinical monitoring, okay, the following things to be monitored: work of breathing, that is respiratory rate, to be monitored, hemodynamic instability if any, and change in the oxygen requirement, which we can monitor through SpO2. Serial chest x-ray to be done to see any worsening, okay, of the respiratory tract involvement. High resolution CT scan of chest to be done only if there is worsening. In the lab, we can monitor the CRP and D-dimer every 48 to 72 hourly. CBC, that is complete blood count, kidney function test and liver function test to be monitored every 24 to 48 hours. And interleukin 6 levels to be done if the patient is deteriorating. Now let's talk about the severe disease category. The patient who are presenting with severe disease should be admitted in the ICU. Okay, definitely they will require respiratory support, oxygen support, because in this category we have already mentioned the SpO2 will be below 90%. Okay, so how oxygen can be delivered in this group of patients? We can use non-invasive ventilation for respiratory support. Okay, either BiPAP or CPAP can be used. Okay, many studies shows that CPAP is better in this case. Okay, in this category of COVID-19 disease. Okay, if the patient is not improving with non-invasive ventilation, that is BiPAP or CPAP, patient is unable to maintain the oxygen saturation and the work of breathing is high, then we can shift to high flow nasal cannula, which will deliver oxygen at a very high rate. And even then also, if the patient is not improving, patient is going down, or the work of breathing is high, then the patient needs intubation. Okay, and the patient will require ventilatory support. In the anti-inflammatory therapy or immunomodulatory therapy, the drugs are same which we have used in moderate disease category. Injection methylprednisolone or dexamethasone can be used. Here the methylprednisolone dose is a bit higher. It is 1 to 2 mg per kg body weight to be given in 2 divided doses, and dexamethasone can be given at a dose of 12 mg in 2 divided doses, and it can be continued for 5 to 7 days. And same for anticoagulation, we can use unfractionated heparin or low molecular weight heparin, weight based. Now, in the supportive measures, we need to maintain euvolemia. We need to correct if there is an electrolyte imbalance. If the patient is having sepsis or septic shock, okay, due to secondary bacterial infection, then we need to manage as per existing protocol and as per the local antibiogram. And what are the things to be monitored? Okay, we need to do serial chest x-ray and high resolution CT of the thorax to be done only if there is worsening. Okay, only if there is worsening of symptoms. In the lab, we need to monitor the CRP, D-dimer, complete blood count, kidney function test, liver function test, and interleukin 6. Okay, so this is in short about the management protocol of COVID-19, okay, as per the different category of COVID-19. And there are certain drugs which are having emergency use authorization or off-label use in COVID-19 disease. For example, One is remdesivir, one is tocilizumab, one is convalescent plasma. Remdesivir is an antiviral. Okay. Remdesivir can be used or should be used within 10 days of symptom onset, and it can be used in moderate disease category. Okay, in case of moderate disease, it can be used. If it is used beyond the 10 days of symptom onset, it will probably not help. It does not have any mortality benefit, but it is seen that it can reduce the escalation of disease from moderate to the requirement of ventilator. Now, tocilizumab is a monoclonal antibody. Okay, it is a monoclonal antibody which blocks interleukin 6. Okay. Interleukin 6 is one of the major cytokine involved in the so-called cytokine storm in COVID-19. So tocilizumab can be used, and it should be used in severe disease category. Okay. And the symptoms of severe disease should not be there for more than 48 hours. If it is used beyond 48 hours, then it will not be very much helpful. Okay. And there is also something known as convalescent plasma. Convalescent plasma means plasma which is obtained from a person which is recovering from COVID-19. These plasma will have antibodies against the SARS-CoV-2, so it will help COVID-19 patient to fight off the disease at an earlier stage. Okay, by the time when the patient develops his or her own antibody response. Okay. But again, it is also having an off-label use. Thank you so much for your patience hearing. I hope the discussion helps.